Howdy, friend. You here to join up with the Coalition? Well, see, it started out as a little gathering for folks like me to air out our lungs regarding those no-good flannel mouths back in California letting the barons steal our land. Eventually, we had enough with the politicians and the barons, decided to properly band together and start fighting back. We're just a few as of now, but we're getting a few hollers away from being something. Well, there's a handful of baron posses, but the one that's really causing a stir around here is Buck Booth and his gang. Ain't nothing but a bunch of glorified raiders. Buck and his son are one hell of a duo. See, his kin is a ranking army officer in the Republic. He gets Buck what he needs by requesting transfers to whatever outpost is yonder to Buck's latest score. Usually, Buck fixes a few things to get his boy a favorable position in the camp. From there, his son's got a whole armies of six-shooters behind his daddy. I'll put my own front teeth on it if that Buck boy isn't getting transferred nearby as we're jabbering here on this ranch. Anyhow, I suppose what I'm trying to get at is the fact that these ain't your average thieves. No, they got connections. And most importantly, the Republic in their britches. Yep, and the story surrounding him ain't any more pretty than a pile of fresh Brahmin dung. Out here on the range, we got a lot of old thinking folks. The kind of Bible thumpers that don't have a brain outside their book. According to these Brahmin brain book thumpers, men like Josie Dinkin were committing acts of sodomy against man. Now, I don't personally believe the Brahmin shit they preach about, but my word didn't stop them. As soon as they heard that he and his husband were ex-NCR doughboys, those men, animals, firebombed his house against my orders to leave him alone. Josie was the only one to make it out before the house collapsed. They had a kid they adopted from Legion territory. I think about that every day. Sometimes I ask myself if I shouldn't have just let Josie come out here and kill me for what my men did. I'm sure he'll get his revenge someday. As much as I'd like to claim they are, God's honest truth is the trade is dying. Lots of folk been hightailing it to California to work at the industrial farms. Folks anymore ain't willing to lay down their own hay just for Booth or Gunderson to take. Of course, that's not to say we're small in numbers. We still kick up a good bit of dust when we're burdened. Used to be a cowboy. Ranch burned down a buckloads of years ago. Ain't something folk like us ever learned to set with, I'll tell you that much. I guess you could say my family died alongside my ranching. I've got a daughter, but she's long since moved on from me and my ranching life. Lord knows you're right. I suppose since Booth and his gang were moved into the Mojave, some of the memories might have been resurfacing. You know, my girl Daisy never got to meet her mama. Died of fever when given my little flower life. She grew up despising the cowboy life. Couldn't stomach the mosquitoes or the smell. Wasn't until Booth burned down the ranch that she started acting distant, however. Now, I tried different things as she grew up to keep us close. Fishing, knitting. Hell, even took dance classes together. But none of it could change a thing. Second she grew out of them clothes her mama knit for her, she packed up and left. Ain't a day that's gone by in these past 8 years that I haven't missed her like hell. I hope she's doing well for herself out there. I know her mama been proud. So, you looking to join up with us old-timers? Well, we've always got a few odd jobs around the ranch. But you look like you've traveled more miles than any cowboy I've ever seen. Tell you what, the storms are brewing over the horizon. We've seen more barons in the past month than I'd seen in my life, and barons ain't no stranger to me. I think Buck Booth and his boys are fixing to make a move. The only way we're going to stand a fighting chance is if we keep adding ranches to the coalition. There's a few out there in the fringes who still ain't on board. You get these ranches into our pen, and I'll pay you well. Now, a word of advice. Booth's boys will sometimes try to buy out ranches before downright driving them out. Don't let any of them ranches settle. If one sells, the dominoes start falling. I don't care what it takes. Folks can't start selling. All right, this is all of them. You go on and hightail it right to those ranches. You get them to join the coalition.
Hi. I don't think I've seen you around before. I'm Dr. Vesht, the lead researcher here at the ranch. If you have any questions, I suppose I'm the one to ask. Listen, as I said to the last courier who offered, we'd love to join, but we're stringing along as is. And with all the dues we have to pay into the coalition, I don't think we'd be any better off. That's a fair point. The people around here appreciate that kind of attitude. I'll tell you what. You've got my support, but you're still going to have to earn the rest. Todd and Buchanan could both use help with some bigger things. You can typically find them on opposite sides of the ranch. Otherwise, there are a million small things that need to be done. Solar panel repairs, medical supplies, specimens, you name it. Thanks. I know the people will appreciate your efforts. Hello. It's good to see you again. What can I help you with? I should have a few moments. Go ahead. Well, just let me know if you have any more questions. You've really proven yourself useful to our cause. We have great appreciation for your kindness. To show gratitude, we've agreed to join the coalition. I've already sent an envoy your way. Oh God! It's the Vipers! They're coming! Get out there and give my friends a hand!
Keep your eyes up. We've got a fucking big one this time. My boys had eyes on Chief Ironclad himself. It means they ain't here to leave survivors. They want to finish us once and for all. So go get some cover and check your mags. We're in for a fucking fight.
Now one step back.
For a minute there, I thought we were a goner. All thanks to you, we not only survived the attack, but it looks like we might have scared off the Vipers for good. I think you've earned a spot in our little commune. Consider it your second home. Take care.
Brahmin Coalition. Fascinating.
Howdy there, beautiful. Oh, shucks. That's mighty sweet of you to ask, but no, darling. I prefer to do things myself. Keeps me young. At least that's what I like to tell myself. Be seeing you, sweetie.
Howdy, stranger. Welcome to Cash Ranch. Well, soon to be NCR Ranch once our sale goes through. Don't worry, though. We've still got the best damn cheese in the West. While supplies last, of course. Sure as hell am. The wife and I can't keep up with the goddamn place anymore. Damn ranch is falling apart on us. With our old age, we're better off just selling it while it's still worth a cap or two. Stranger, that's mighty kind of you. I sure as heck will consider sticking around if things get to looking up around here. Why don't you go talk to Jack? He's a young ranch hand I hired from North Square. Well, the NCR's got us a pretty sweet deal, but the wife and I are always open to new possibilities. We'll hear people out who are interested. Now that I think of it, some fella named Elias over at Co-op showed interest a while back, but nothing ever came of it. Alrighty. Not usually one for talking, but my back's been killing me, so I've got time for a chat. Alrighty. Take care out there.
Hello, ma'am. What can I help you with? Oh, sorry. The name's Jack Bigham. I'd shake your hand, but I've been stirring the compost pile all morning. Pardon the smell, too. I work for Mr. and Mrs. Cash as a ranch hand. I ain't from too far. Grew up in North Vegas on my own. Don't know where my mama or papa is. Never met 'em. Lots of us kids growing up like that. Mr. Cash came into town one day, saw some of the little knickknacks I'd been selling, and brought me in to help him. Now I was working to get a ranch of my own. Lots of untapped land out here, and hopefully I save up enough to make a move before NCR comes in. Hell, I was a bit disappointed when Mr. Cash made that deal with Mr. Booth. Was hoping out of courtesy he'd at least give me a chance to match his price for the ranch. John? Oh, Mr. Cash. Yeah, Mr. Cash's back has been giving him the middle finger as of late. Put me in a spot of being a lick overwhelmed. Let's take a look here. I's got a whole list we wrote up. Which pocket did I leave that sucker in? Ah, here she is. Right. So the first thing's the turbines. Not so much hard labor, more so the know-how. Damn contraptions ain't producing enough power to keep them floodlights on at night. Keeps the coyotes at bay. The next thing is the compost. Now, typically I'm the one to deliver our compost to West Side, but I gotta work on fixing the fence. So if you could deliver them bag of turds to the co-op, it'd be much appreciated. Alright, last thing on here is old mama. She's our best dairy Brahmin, and her babies are getting to the point where they ain't needing milk no more. If you could get her over yonder to the shed, I can get her milk before the little ones get to feeding. Yep, sorry, I done forgot about them. Well, I know Mama loves mesquite, and the calves love themselves some yucca. Plenty of mesquite in the garden. Yucca, on the other hand, Miss Cash don't grow. I reckon there's some growing in the foothills, though. I'd start there. Old Mama ain't going nowhere with them babies on the teat. You'd do that for me? Oh, thank you, stranger. Tell him I got 1,500 caps saved up. I'm more than willing to give it all for this place. Oh, yep, of course.
Evening.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you with? Ah, yep. Sorry, I done forgot about them. Well, I know Mama loves mesquite, and the calves love themselves some yucca. Plenty of mesquite in the garden. Yucca, on the other hand, Miss Cash don't grow. I reckon there's some growing in the foothills, though. I'd start there. Old Mama ain't going nowhere with them babies on the teat.
Hey.
Hi there. Welcome to the Westside Co-op. I'm Clayton Etienne. Let me know if you have any questions.
Howdy. Welcome to the co-op. Head on in if you're looking for produce. Well, I work with the other co-op members. I mainly work directly for Clayton, though. I do hourly audits of our supply on a day-to-day basis. But my specialty is finding new talent and properties to help support us. I used to do that back in California for the followers, before the damn barons started stealing land. Nothing too crazy. I've seen a lot of places like this come and go in my travels. I guess when I met Clayton, it got me to really believe in the place. He's done a damn good job with little support, He's the reason this place has stayed afloat. Honestly, my own bad fortune did. Used to be a part of the followers back west. Once the barons got into power, I ran east. Was sick of the politics. And I had my own demons to confront on top of that. Pretty much gambled and drank all my money away at the strip. Then I wandered into Westside and met Clayton. I've been working for him ever since, doing what I can to keep the place afloat. It's also been nice knowing I never strayed too far from the followers. Tom Anderson's living right down the street, and we work together pretty often. Cash Ranch. Say, I hear Johnny's selling the place to them barons. You wouldn't happen to know if he's reconsidered. Boy, I've been interested. Suppose I should have kept better tabs on the place. We just been busy running this place. Tell Johnny we got a place for him here in Westside and free food for life. Thanks, kid. Tell him to come visit me if he decides to sell it to us.
Howdy, stranger. What you got for me? Well, that's a done deal then. All I care about is resting our weary bones in comfort. We'll head over there and work out the details. Thanks again, kid. Oh, and maybe you ought to speak to Jack. Kid's getting to that age where he needs some guidance. I'm far too damn old to know what he's going through.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you with? Ah, hell, I don't know a damn. I knew this day was coming and I dreaded to think about it. Guess I'll just go out and wander, unless that is you had something in mind. You mean it? Well, that sounds like a heck of a good time. I've been shooting rodents most of my life, fiends included if you consider them of the sort. Suppose barons die all the same. I'll make my way yonder and join up.
Howdy, stranger. Well, that's a done deal then. All I care about is resting our weary bones in comfort. We'll head over there and work out the details. Thanks again, kid. Oh, and maybe you ought to speak to Jack. Kid's getting to that age where he needs some guidance. I'm far too damn old to know what he's going through.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you with? Ah, hell, I don't know. You mean it? Well, that sounds like a heck of a good time.
Nice to see you again. What can I do? Hope you got news worthy of drinking the bug juice, too. Nice to see you again. What can I do? Hope you got news worthy. They ain't any kind of big power like the Barons, but they've got a standing with the locals to change hearts and minds. Whatever they settle on, folks will follow. Ain't a doubt. A bunch of NCR deserters. Engineers, soldiers, scientists. They're a small posse, but strong folk. Having them on our side would give us the added firepower to outgun the Barons and their crew. Well, you know what they say. If they ain't with us, they're against us. Sounds mighty harsh, I know. But trust me, there ain't nothing these Barons won't do to use the other people's neutrality against us. I've seen them take one ranch and turn it into a dozen by the week's end. Yeah, I'll tell you what, these fucking bandits spread like cancer. Gotta cut off anything that shows signs of weakness afore it spreads. I reckon as much. A few boys from there showed up a lick ago. Sounds like they're giving their thanks with a couple of six-shooters. Won't hear a whisper of complaining from me. Hope you got news worthy of drinking the bug juice, too. Heck, I can drink to that. I seen a couple of them doughboys come through. Must have been from their posse. I'm more than happy to have an extra six-shooter on our side. Nice one, Sophomore. Looks like them ranches have been dealt with. Now it's time to get on the saddle and hit 'em where it hurts. Take this and get yourself a drink. I'll be here when you're ready to talk about some more work. Nice to see you again. What can I do? Got you a fix of liquid gold down at the bar, huh? Well, I sure as heck hope so, 'cause we got some business ahead of us. I got two more things for you to do. First, we're gonna need some real explosives if we want to take down Buck Booth. I ain't talking dynamite or grenades. I'm talking real military-type explosive charges. And I got just the place to find them. Just past Nipton, it's an old rail yard. A couple of wandering cowfolk told me they spotted an NCR supply train stopped out there. I reckon they came to supply them folks down in the correcting facility, but didn't get a word of the revolt till they was already in town. From what my eyes saw, they ain't too big in numbers. I reckon you and a couple of my boys could easily sack that train and take the explosives, but I'd leave the brass tacks up to you. Take care, partner.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
Over here.
Hey,
Halt! What's your business getting so close to an NCR supply convoy? Negative. That is, unless you have diesel for our engines. We were on our way to resupply NCRCF when we got word that the place had been overrun. Now we're just about empty on fuel and have no nearby stations to replenish at. We're just waiting for the brass to send us some help. Ah, typical brass, not filling us in on the plan. Well, go ahead and grab what you need. Ease my mind not to be sitting on a stockpile of explosives.
hey.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that. Hello.
I hear reports of Legion raiding.
Nice to see you again. What can I do? Oh, whoa, mama. These are some real heat packers here. I ought to put these somewhere safe for the time being. Now we gotta get to the real dirty deeds. A friend of mine got word that Buck Booth's son got deployed not too far away. If you ain't heard nothing about John Booth, then let me fill your ear. This boy's a goddamn maniac. His daddy gets him sent to military camps where he diverts NCR resources towards Buck's cause. Looks like his daddy got him a sweet deal this time. He's hanging out with an NCR artillery crew. Now the only way this makes a lick of sense is if he's plotting to turn that artillery on us. I want you to get a Silver Spoon boy out of the picture. Capiche? Hell, I reckon the kid's probably got some skeletons in his closet. Whole reason he joined the army was 'cause his daddy couldn't protect him from the Reno jet dealers he owed cash to. If I had to guess, he's probably on a short rope when it comes to drugs. Maybe he gets caught with some in his knapsack if you catch my wind. Don't give a damn how you do it. I just want him gone. However, I think the NCR'd appreciate you doing so in a civilized manner. Alrighty. His camp should be just a lick behind Boulder City. Here's where my boys last caught wind of him. Good luck, kid. We're gonna be wrangling them barons soon enough. Don't you worry.
Howdy. Sure as the sand we're walking on. My daddy's the meanest, richest, and most successful man this side of the Colorado. Ain't nobody gonna stop him once he gets his hands on Vegas. I don't know. Dipshit over there working the Hell. Yeah. Nothing much, I guess. My daddy's a Brahmin baron, and my ma stays at Okay, bye-bye, whoever you are.
Hello, how can I help you? I've got a few minutes. Go ahead. Hello, how can I help you? Hello, how can I help you? Hello, how can I help you? I've got a... I won't say this to any of my troopers, but believe me when I say that kid's a fucking headache to work above. Can't discipline him, can't put him in tough situations, and you can't order him around. But the kid's in too deep now. Apparently, his promotion came after his last sergeant mysteriously died. He'd taken it upon himself to command the squad and move them to a nearby distillery owned by the Wrights. Coincidentally, a group of Vipers just so happened to have attacked that distillery not long after the squad set up shop. Got himself his own fucking Golden Branch of Honor for his heroic defense. Never mind the fact that the area his squad was supposed to protect caused an entire supply chain shortage after a few legionaries found the gap in our line. At least he paid a debt to his rightful owners. Hell, ever since he's been sent to my command, I've been sleeping with an eye open and my trigger finger ready. All right. Is that right? Kid's been a troublemaker ever since his daddy got him into my squad. Let's go take a look. Hello, how can I help you? Is that... Corporal Booth, I received an anonymous tip that you might be hiding Kims in your duffel bag. Under the Army Handbook, I'm permitted to perform a search of your belongings.
Go ahead, but my father will be hearing about this.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Well, what do we have here?
That's not mine, I swear.
Corporal Booth, you're now being detained for a discharge hearing. Please hand over any and all weapons on your persons.
This is a fucking setup. I'm not handing over shit.
Refusal to hand over weapons at the command of your CO is to be considered a violent offense. Do you understand?
I'm not handing anything over.
Hello, how can I help you? Is that right? Kid's been a troublemaker ever since his daddy got him. Corporal Booth, I received an anonymous tip that you might be hiding Kims in your duffel bag. Under the Army Handbook, I'm permitted to perform a search of your belongings.
Go ahead, but my father will be hearing about this.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Well, what do we have here?
That's not mine, I swear.
Corporal Booth, you're now being detained for a discharge hearing. Please hand over any and all weapons on your persons.
This is a fucking setup. I'm not handing over shit.
Refusal to hand over weapons at the command of your CO is to be considered a violent offense. Do you understand?
I'm not handing anything over.
Hello, how can I help you? Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're just as sorry as the rest of us. No, that little shit had it coming if you ask me. And since he never thought I had any power around these parts, he's getting listed as AWOL on the next report to Camp Golf. Stay safe out there, and watch for Crimson along the river.
How can I help you? He's a good commander. He never asks us to do something he wouldn't do himself. Honestly, I feel bad for the poor guy. He punches way above his weight, but the politics have him behind the front lines. Nothing good, that's for certain. Honestly, I don't think a single person here actually likes him. Sure, he's bought some loyalty, but that's all it is. Bought. Even then, the troopers despise him. His daddy's some big Brahmin baron back west, so the kid's born with a silver spoon in hand. He's too good to even eat our rations. He gets his daddy's Brahmin steaks delivered to him every week by courier. Yep, I'm a trained artillery technician. This is my first job out on my own, though. Luckily, this one's a pretty old model howitzer. Nothing like some of those late war artillery pieces. Watch for Legion.
Hello, how can I help? Let me see that. What the fuck? Let's go have a talk with Mr. Daddy's boy. Corporal Booth.
Sir.
It has come to my attention that your father has been sending you orders, breaking the chain of command, and more troublingly, plotting to take your commanding officer's position through mutiny.
These are bold accusations.
Bold they are, but I'm sure as soon as the brass reads these letters signed by your father, they'll be satisfied with my actions.
And what actions are you implying?
Ridding the world of your stench.
Hey, up here, partner. Get your cylinders loaded. We got more barons coming in hot. Ain't no scouting party. They're coming for the kill. Well, I'll be damned if it ain't the no-good son of a bitch Captain Lee Killman. Looks like his big tough mercenaries lost their spines as soon as he hit the ground. Some no-good piece of Brahmin shit who was too uncivilized to cut with the NCR doughboys. Used to roll with the 1st Cavalry before he started the execution of an entire village suspected of harboring fugitives. Oh yeah, partner. You know I ain't ever entered a battle without listening to the classics. It gets me nice and juiced up before killing starts. Ain't nothing worth a yee-haw like a good old fight in the corral. Especially if them boys we're fighting is a bunch of dirty barons. We tend to the injured, round up whatever barons are left, and see what we can get out of them. After that, we'll shoot them dead. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's get to work, gentlemen. Here's the men we managed to wring out of the ashes. You just give me the word and I'll put their sorry hides 6 feet under the sand. Sure, I could use a breather and some bug juice myself. Here's the men we managed to wring out of the ashes. Don't gotta tell me twice. Looks like these barons are damn near broken. I say we hit 'em now while they're down. One final swoop and they should be toast. What do you say? No worries. Go get your bearings and come back when you're ready. You ready or what? Aha, that's what the old Brahmin boy likes to hear. I'll air out my lungs regarding the plan when we get near their base. But for now, we better get walking before they catch wind of us. Listen up, gentlemen. We got these rotten taters on the ropes, but they still got some fight left in them. Y'all are gonna follow our friend here through the east end of the base. You ready or what? Aha, that's what the old Brahmin boy likes to hear. I'll air out my lungs regarding the plan when we get near their base. But for now, we better get walking before they catch wind of us. Listen up, gentlemen. We got these rotten taters on the ropes, but they still got some fight left in them. Y'all are gonna follow our friend here through the east end of the base while I round up some boys and attack the west. Just over yonder is where the Baron's keeping some of our boys. If we can get them out of there, we should have plenty of men to go to get Booth. Otherwise, expect one hell of a fight. Remember, Buck Booth is mine. I swear on my wife's grave, if anyone takes that shot, I'll bury you right next to that son of a bitch. The explosives are set to go off in a few minutes. In the meantime, I'll make my way yonder and meet up with my boys. Good luck, and Godspeed.
Wrong day to test me.
So this is how it all ends. Call it what you will, but for me, it's poetic justice. No matter which side the dice rolls, Willie Roscoe ain't leaving this fucking tent alive. And don't you think to trying to think swift, you might notice the fine embroidery around Mr. Roscoe's neck. That's a Legion slave collar. One press of a button and his head pops off like a sarsaparilla cap. He went to go get the big guns. I'll probably be here as soon as I finish up with Mr. Roscoe here. You coalition thugs think you're the arbiters of justice. No, y'all ain't any more the law than we are. Y'all take advantage of fine people like my family to suit your own interests. No shit, there's something more. The Coalition used their goodwill to commit heinous acts toward my family. They used our history with the NCR to firebomb our house. Why? Because two men ain't allowed to marry by the Bible. This ain't about uniting the ranches of the Mojave, no. The Coalition is an organized military force that's gonna terrorize the West for decades to come, enforcing their bigotry on anyone who settles in the territory. Right. Then explain all the killings the Coalition is responsible for. Yeah, there is. I killed Willie Roscoe, and I let you leave this tent alive. I'll be the verdict of that. Let me hear it. Don't you dare compare me to them. And even if you were right, it's too late now. I've already made up my mind. Willie Roscoe is dying today. Shit, you're fucking right. Booth isn't seeing the big picture here. This is a lot bigger than revenge. Thousands of people's lives are on the line. I'm sorry I didn't see this sooner. Here, this is the key to the bomb collar. I'm gonna get out of here before I dig myself a grave. Good luck.
Hold, Outland Devil. I, Talking Knife, have followed you for days, waiting to give you my... You didn't... You say true? We find Glanton, eat his heart. You live. For now.
Kid, I ain't deserve anything better than what Josie was fixing to give me. But to you, I owe you my gratitude. Now, let's go send Buck Booth onto the first Brahmin train to hell.
So this is how it all ends. And I'm not here to get in your way. Don't you dare! Shit, you're fucking right. Here, this is...
Hold, Outland Devil. You say true? You live.
Kid, I ain't deserve anything better than what Josie was fixing to give me. But to you, I owe you my gratitude. Now, let's go send Buck Booth onto the first Brahmin train to hell.
So, despite your efforts, it appears as though you read my hand wrong. Frankly speaking, however, this is my last ace in my sleeve, so let's negotiate. You are all going to put down your weapons and allow us safe passage back across the NCR border. From there, I will speak with the Senate about giving the Coalition a spot in the congressional lobby. Or if you're feeling rather obstinate, we can resolve this with our weapons, and we'll cross the border carrying your corpses. The choice is yours. Sure, I guess I have a few moments. If you haven't noticed, the NCR dollar is collapsing at an alarming rate. The only way we are to save ourselves from a market crash is to expand rapidly. What better way to do that than to take the land that's going to be ours soon anyway? Sure, some people are going to get displaced or die along the way, but exponentially more will perish if we let the NCR economy collapse. Not to mention, once the Republic annexes Vegas, it'll be much safer for real estate to be in my hands versus 8,000 small land tyrants fighting each other for jurisdiction. Sometimes Monopolies are for the better. I'm not getting away with anything. I'm simply a philanthropist who is expanding my endeavors toward the frontier of NCR territory. There is no jurisdiction out here, and even if there was, I'm operating fully within my rights as an NCR businessman. Simple. To take as much land in as little time as possible. Then, once the NCR annexes Vegas, I begin to redistribute the land to NCR citizens. For a price, of course. Right. So, where are we standing on my offer? Keep that motherfucker away from me!
Buck Booth has finally met his end. Truth be told, I would have never gotten him without your help. You must be some kind of godsend, kid. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. Thought he was going to put up a better fight than that. Hardly. They'll probably break up into smaller groups. But them we can handle. We just gotta make sure them smaller groups ain't coming together. Kid, you're getting plenty in the way of a reward. But we'll talk more about that when we get back to the ranch. Well, with Booth dead, I'm sure the Coalition's gonna have its hands full the coming months. Especially once the NCR starts moving into the Mojave. I'll probably stick around the ranch and get things sorted in preparation. Alright, let's haul ass before the feds show. Come on, boys. Drinks are on me when we get back.
With help from the courier, the Coalition massacred every last Baron in the Mojave. They continued this attitude of resistance, repelling any occupational attempt for decades to come. Soon after, however, NCR military officials reached out to the Coalition, making a peace offer that included full discretion of the new Vegas territory among native cowboys in exchange for a steady supply of provisions dedicated to NCR settlements. Willie Roscoe, overlooking the burning Baron camp, reminisced on the night he looked on helplessly as his own ranch was engulfed by mirrored destruction. He felt like justice had finally been served. But soon after, Roscoe realized that, despite his successful campaign against the Barons, he still remained unsatisfied with his actions. No amount of killing could bring him closer to finding his daughter. Roscoe continued to be the de facto leader of the Coalition until his death from cancer at age 60. He died surrounded by many cowboys, which he had learned to love like a family. After years of grief, Deacon finally saw his moment of revenge. But just as quickly as the opportunity appeared, it drifted away. The courier helped him see reason, and he soon after sought help. After many years of therapy with the followers, he came to terms with the reality of his tragedy. He ventured back to the skeleton of his former home and rebuilt it from the ground up to commemorate his family. With help from the courier, the Wolfhorn commune continued to string along for decades to come. Although never reaching their full potential, they survived. As time went on, they grew increasingly more reliant on NCR trade and slowly molded into a township under the Republic's jurisdiction, but nevertheless, still doing things their way. The West Side Co-op kept Cash Ranch in good condition for years to come. They slowly expanded the ranch to engulf neighboring properties, and with each property they took, the fewer places fiends had to hide. By the time the Mojave conflict had settled, the co-op had expanded Cash Ranch to over 500 acres of farmland, feeding hundreds, if not thousands, of independent citizens. Jack lived a short life in servitude to others, but such a life was no shame to Jack, for his purpose felt fulfilled dying for a cause. Bob died at the hands of cattle barons, but in his final few breaths, he swore he could hear his Mariana calling out to him. And so, the Courier made their mark on the future of the wasteland by assisting the Coalition. Whether intentional or not, their actions will carry through even after the Mojave storm has settled.